Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday morning gathering brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare. As you all know, this is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them, and then to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I am delighted to be here, as always, on Thursdays with Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim's Mindfulness Program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne. Good morning, everyone. Good to be with you on this chilly, lovely morning.
Yeah, it's such a sunny day here in Massachusetts. I hope it is wherever you are. So today, Tara will start us off with a question to get us all chatting with one another. And then she will lead us in a guided practice. And then after that, we'll have a time to have some comments and questions. So if you go to the bottom of your screen, open up the chat if you could, and that will enable you to send any comments or just to be part of the discussion this morning. And then if you click the drop-down menu where it says panelists, you can click it in to say panelists and attendees, and you can see all the comments and questions coming in real time. And yeah, so Tara, as we begin this morning and wake everyone up, what kind of question do we want to start with?
Yeah, so pretty simple question. I just wanted to have everybody describe how they're feeling in this very moment. So a word or two, or even a phrase that describes how you are in this moment right now. And also where in your body you notice it. And so Suzanne, let's start with you while folks are kind of thinking through how are you feeling in this moment and where do you notice it physically?
Yeah, so this morning I have a little bit of a sense of unease.
Okay.
And I think it's just because a couple things that are coming up for me today, things I need to prepare for. And I'm really feeling it kind of right in my heart area.
Yeah.
Heart center, chest area. A little bit of.
Yeah. And it's kind of amazing how the body does let you know when you tap into it, which this practice is just so tailor-made for, really. Yeah. So for me, yeah, I would say I'm feeling anticipatory, and I tend to feel things solar plexus. So kind of abdomen, picking up my mom from her rehab. She broke her hip a couple weeks ago and is being discharged from rehab today. And then I'll bring her back to where she lives, which is a memory care facility. So I feel I'm grateful that she's done with rehab, but this transition is going to be tricky. So I really feel it in my solar plexus, which is where I tend to feel a lot of emotion initially. But let's see what we got coming in.
Yeah, so tired eyes. Yeah. Start off with our Zoom meetings with our tired eyes. So hopefully
yeah.
Close them a little bit later. Stress, too much to do, noticed in the head.
Yeah.
Unease is a good word for me too. Happy, previous physical issues are improving. That's a good feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tense, have a headache. Feel like a lot of things need to be realized. Feel it in my heart.
Yeah, I mean, these emotions and then the corresponding physical are so closely related. And peaceful and relaxed. Yeah, the weather is invigorating. That is so true. It's uplifting, I think. So, as I was thinking about what question to start with this morning for all of us, I'm reminded of a phrase that I hear Sharon Salzberg say a lot, which seems so simple, but there's actually quite a bit of depth to it in terms of this practice, which she just says over and over, feel what you feel what you feel. And I think with good and positive emotions, that's much easier. But she means it universally for all of our emotions. And in this practice, the idea is that we come out of the narrative about it and we come into the physical experience of that. So when we're anxious, unsettled, angry, we have unease, to drop the storyline and just to feel what it is that you feel in your body, to allow for it, to engage with a receptive, curious mind. Because ultimately what we're learning is that every thought, emotion, and body sensation has a birth, it arises, it kind of has a life, and then it moves. And so the benefit of that is that we know that nothing is going to hang out forever. So if we're feeling really anxious, unsettled, angry, that has a life trajectory that will move. The idea, though, is that we really want to, instead of resisting, which is, of course, natural. If something is painful or difficult, there is a natural tendency to bring up resistance, and that can be in many forms. It could be we just distract ourselves with things, or there's a multitude of ways we can resist. What's really interesting in these practices is that kind of moving toward that challenge and dropping the narrative and just feeling it. The only trap is that it's easy to get stuck in, and I've certainly seen this in myself, which is, okay, I'm doing it, I'm feeling it, and it's not going away. So that's a trap that just has to be dropped. And you just feel what you feel and then see what happens with complete openness, receptivity to whatever it is. And this is how we learn about the nature of these various emotions and physical expressions as well. So with that, I want to guide us in a body scan this morning, but I want everybody to start with a couple of deep breaths on your own, because we all have bodies that breathe at different paces. But I'm going to have you do a deep inhalation through the nose and then double the length of the exhalation. And go ahead and do 2 of those on your own. So whether you're standing or you're seated, just take a couple deep breaths as a way to settle in and kind of settle any surface tension. And then let the body resume the natural rhythm that is right for you this morning. Breathing in and breathing out, settling in, surrendering your weight into the support of the surface, and sitting or standing with a spine that is upright and engaged. And at the same time, relax to the degree that you can, ease just to the degree that you can. And settling in, letting go of all that has happened so far today and releasing anticipation of what's next. Bringing the mind and the body together. In this moment, noticing how the body feels. Just simply asking yourself, what is happening right now physically? What do I notice? Points of contact with the back of the body, temperature, tingling, taking a moment, scanning the whole body, receptive to whatever is occurring. Perhaps aware of the weight of the body, kind of the heft of the body, and aware of the surface beneath you that's supporting you, and aware of the earth beneath that. Allowing yourself to surrender into this support. And in this moment, nowhere else to be and nothing else to do. So let's begin by bringing awareness to the very top of the head. Aware of sensations or lack of sensations, but just isolating this region of the body. Bringing awareness down over the sides of the head, including the ears and the back of the head. Seeing what you notice. What do you feel? Bringing awareness now to the face. Softening the muscles of the face simply to the degree that you can. To the forehead and the eyes, the nose, the cheeks and jaw, the mouth. Aware and receptive to various sensations in this part of the body. And always including noticing lack of sensation. If that's what's happening. Bringing awareness down to the neck, so including the throat and the sides of the neck and the back of the neck. Bringing awareness down now to the shoulders. What sensations are making themselves known? Scanning down over the upper arms, including the elbows, the forearms, and hands. Both the left and the right side together, noticing what sensations or lack of sensations are present. And releasing that part of the body, and now moving to the torso. So the front of the body and the back of the body, internally and externally, aware of sensation or lack of sensation, or perhaps a point of contact if you're sitting, what that subtle point of contact feels like. But isolating this large region of the body, the torso, and just aware and receptive to whatever is occurring. Sensations, temperature, movement of the breath. Bringing awareness down now over the thighs, both the left and the right together. Again, this large region, this large muscle mass of the body. Perhaps noticing points of contact if you're seated, or other sensation or lack of sensation. Bringing awareness now to the knees. So the top of the knee and the sides, the back of the knee, both the left and the right, aware of sensation or lack of sensation. Bringing awareness to the lower legs, both the left and the right, to the calves and the shin of both the left and the right leg. Isolating this part of the body and just simply receiving sensation or noticing lack of sensation. Bringing awareness now to the ankles, to the top of the foot, include all of the toes, include the soles of the feet and the heel. Noticing sensation in this part of the body. And releasing that part of the body. And as we started with whole body awareness, we're also going to end this practice with whole body awareness. So coming back kind of with a wider angle lens of attention over the whole body. And noticing what sensations seem to be most prominent for you this morning. Is it the points of contact? Is it temperature? Is there a particular area of the body that is making itself known to you? Whatever that is this morning, just land there for a moment. So that could mean you've got a wide angle over the whole body, or maybe there is a particular area that's calling you. And allow that to be where you rest and receive in this moment. And you can release that part of the body. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our body healthy and strong. For all of those known and unknown to us, may they be peaceful and at ease. May their heart be soft and open. May they be safe and protected, and their bodies healthy and strong. And may the merit of our practice be for the benefit of all beings everywhere. And as you feel ready, if your eyes were closed, you can open them and just take a moment to kind of reorient, even if they were open during the practice. Just look around the room, maybe take a stretch, and we'll reconnect.
Thank you, Tara.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe we could check in with folks and see if there are what questions or thoughts or observations you had about this particular practice, and, knowing that every body scan that you do is going to be different from another one, so is there anything in particular that stood out to you, or any questions that you have about what we did this morning, or just comment, if there's any comment or a question you have for the group, feel free to pose that. And Suzanne, I guess I would turn to you while folks are thinking and see, is there anything in particular about this practice that stood out? Do you have a comment or a question or anything that you want to mention?
So I really like how when you asked the question about how we were feeling and where we were feeling it, because I came back to that location during our sit. So I was feeling kind of in my chest area as we were releasing other parts of the body. I came back to the chest and found that I was concentrating on that area as well, just looking to release and just.
Or even, even a subtle twist is not even release it,
Mm.
because all you have to do is be aware and receive it, and ultimately it'll release itself.
Right.
It's so funny there, because there can be like this subtle wanting something to go away. And part of what we're doing in this practice that I think is easy to lose sight of is that it'll release itself, and to be careful of that trap I said earlier about, I'm doing it and it's not releasing, that it naturally, the other thing, and you're reminding me, Suzanne, that I forgot to mention that I think is important, is this, we do this practice with really good emotions too. I think I touched on it, but things that are positive and joyful and, excitement. And the only thing that's challenging with those emotions is there can be a subtle holding on to it, not wanting it to go away because it feels so good. That's the only. So mostly we focus on the difficult emotions because there's such a strong tendency to want it to go away, to will it to go away, to distract so we don't have to feel. And so for whether it's a good, positive emotion, body sensation, or feeling, we're just feeling what we feel again, like showing up.
Yeah. That's a good reminder. Someone had a question here.
Yeah.
How do I keep from being critical about certain sensations or aches in some places?
Yeah. So I have a bit of a question about that. So Grant, when you say critical, do you mean like I shouldn't be having this? I wish this would go away, or this, can you say a little bit more about it perhaps? But I think I'm understanding just there, you just don't want it to be there, or maybe you're condemning yourself for having it. Maybe that's what it is. I think the value is that if you see that, you can name it. Oh, criticizing this or critical of this, and feel that. What does that criticism feel like in the body? Where is that criticism located? And that would be the instruction with that.
Hmm.
And you're welcome to say more if it critical in certain sensations or aches. So I mean, it could be then just not wanting it to be there, like, or it shouldn't be there. And so very deeply embedded in this practice is it is there. Criticizing it and trying to figure out why. The noticing of that, the naming of that, the seeing if you can feel where the criticizing and analysis is showing up for you, and naming that, and then releasing it. So if so what you're doing is saying, oh, I actually see you. I see you, criticism. And now coming out of the narrative, I feel where that criticism is showing up, that analysis of why it could be there is showing up. And hang with that until you're ready to resume back to the the practice, whatever that might be. So if you're doing just like a breath related concentration practice or more open spacious awareness, anytime you're called and you're seeing something like that, you name it, you feel it, and then you return. So I don't know if that helps. I hope that it does. So the feelings really go away. Aren't we just distracted, then moving to another area? The feelings may not go away. Nope, they may not go away at all. I think what you do is land on that particular. So if we're still working sort of on the other thing, is that it's like you hang out with that particular expression, physical expression of that emotion until you feel ready to resume back. And you may want to hang with that particular for the entire duration of the rest of your practice. If that makes any sense. So, you know, it's different with like a cramp or an itch, or say an ambulance is going by. We're pulled from the practice, we leave our primary object, we go, we receive, and then we return. But if, for instance, you know, self-criticism or doubt or, you know, any of these are really predominant, and we see it, because we cannot see it for a while, but there's a lot of people here who've been practicing for a while, and I appreciate the nuance of the questions that you're offering. So you actually are gonna not go back. But you have to let go. This is what's so hard of the fact that there's a real tendency to say it's not working, I'm doing it, it's not going away. You actually see if you can, if you're doing that, and release it and just receive what is self-doubt or criticism or figuring or analysis feel like physically. So the labeling of it, analysis, is in part saying to the mind, the culprit has been seen. Everybody's welcome here. It's like that Rumi poem, The Guest House. All are welcome. All are welcome. Nothing is excluded. The thing that can be tricky in this practice is the explanation of how to actually feel it. How we feel it as we come out of the narrative, because the narrative or the story isn't going to get us anywhere. So we're doing, you know, really tapping into what's physically happening. What do I physically feel? And if you have to stay with that for the whole duration of your practice.
Yeah, very interesting observations, and challenging. You know, I think it is challenging not to try to resist some of these feelings, or will them to
go away, or you know. So I think what Grant's saying, is it okay to leave the breath and let the distraction be? That's what's turning toward means. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I so appreciate the dialogue here, because I realize it's 9, but I want to say, in the sort of popular cultural world of mindfulness, some of the nuance gets lost, and there are expectations about what this practice will do. Like it's about being calm and peaceful, when in fact it's about feeling anger and feeling unease and feeling anxiety and feeling joy and feeling elation, and feeling those things fully, as opposed to distracting or resisting or holding, you know, not wanting to go away. So ultimately what happens is we're building this capacity to have greater equanimity with all of these things. So we are learning to relate to and engage with all of the things that happen to us with greater balance. And in fact, we ultimately tend to feel more deeply, because we can do it with more ease, more equanimity, more balance. So we feel things more deeply. Yeah.
Yeah, wonderful discussion, and thank you everyone for engaging in that conversation, because I think it helps all of us. There's so many, like Tara says, there's so many nuances to these practices. So
It is
Um,
deeply nuanced. Yes, it is a deeply nuanced practice. So thanks everyone and
Thank you, Tara,
enjoy this
for guidance.
beautiful day.
Yes, yes. Thank you again for your guidance, and thank you everyone for participating, and we hope to see you next Tuesday
Yeah,
at 8:30. So enjoy the rest of the day, and thanks for being here.
yeah.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.